Hello, this is Stephen and this is my TikTok live studio, which we're going to be exploring over several different episodes. I spent a year refining this and I'm just going to give you the salient points. First thing is multi-camera. So you can have two cameras on screen at the same time. Great if you're switching from a full screen camera to having a web page and your camera bottom right hand corner. Okay, you can do that whilst you're live, it works well. The whole system is based around scenes. So you can have multi-scenes. You could have a scene with you on camera, then you can have a scene with a web page with your overlay on it. You can have as many scenes as you like. And the thing that I found out is you can switch between scenes during a live broadcast, and it works seamlessly. Your microphone continues working as the change scene actually loads. Now, top right hand corner, you have your notifications where it's got the red 99. You've got any questions you can ask. You've got the settings, and underneath that you've got the live performance and you've got flares. Now, flares are important. Flares increase your reach. There are 3 tiers of flares. You earn them by going live. Okay, that's all you need to do. No extra, just go live on a regular basis and you'll earn flares. You can then use those flares during a live broadcast to increase your reach. In other words, TikTok will show your live broadcast to more people. Creator Camp is information to help you going, and if we click on here, you can see basically it will come up with the current state of play with regard to flares, etc., and what you can actually load. And if I go to reward challenges, you can see there that I've had flares, tier 1 flares and tier 2 flares, and I'm waiting for next week when I can get tier 3 flares. And this is all as a result of actually going live. Now, the higher the flare number, the more viewers. As a guide, 1 will give you 200 viewers, a tier 2 flare will give you 400, and a tier 3 will give you 600. But you can do better than that. Okay, and I need 70 more gems to unlock a tier 2 for next week. Okay, I already have. Just taking a quick look. That might take a second to come through. Now, the scene is on the left hand side of the screen, and what I've got is I brought in a video. Now you can bring in, there's the flares. So I've got 2 tier 2 flares, 6 tier 1 flares, and those basically are rewards for going live. I can use 1 flare in each of my broadcasts, and I decide when to use them. Generally speaking, I let myself get into gear. I'm going for about 5 minutes, then start the flare, and then people will start to come in. You don't need to do anything other than react, welcome people, but not everybody because there's going to be so many of them, and react to any comments. And the comments will come up on the right hand side of the screen in the chat box. But the thing is, you do see the names of everybody who joins you, and whilst you're in the studio, you can actually follow people. Okay, you can click on a name and then you can find out how many followers they've got, how many people they're following, and you can follow. So this is an active studio. This is the interactivity is why this scores over Restream. Restream has certain rules and regulations for broadcasting TikTok. TikTok Live Studio is a lot easier to use with a lot of benefits for you to discover using it. So the first thing I've got in here is I've got a short video. Now I can resize that video, and you'll notice that the controls have come to the top of the screen. So I can stop it, I can change the volume, switch the volume on and off. So it now plays without volume. And of course, well, you can see I've got total control over the video, and I can switch it off and switch it on again. I'll come to adding things in a moment. The next thing I've got, I'm just going to hide that, is I can bring in images, and the images will show on screen where I put them. Whilst I'm live, I can move them about the screen. Okay, next one, let's hide that. I'm just giving you examples of what you can do. So that one just covers me. Basically, you want the AI. Every single broadcast is monitored by AI, and if anything happens to your sound or your camera, or you try to cover yourself up with an image, you'll get a warning in the studio. Okay. Next image, I've brought a QR code in. That is the QR code. If you zap that, basically you can download the TikTok Live Studio you're looking at the moment. The next one down. Okay, and that's my invite to TikTok Live Studio. Okay, to accept the invitation, just scan the QR code. Okay, now I'll put my glasses on, because you need my glasses for actually reading the comments. I'm promoting my toolkit this year, and technology, just a question that I can bring up any time when I want to take a break. Toolkit, that's the best one of the toolkit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that one and I'm going to delete it. So I've now only got one toolkit image. My TikTok image, which is perfect for broadcasting live on TikTok, because if you look at it, it just says TikTok Live is a perfect platform. And I believe that it is. Switch that off and scroll down, and we've got the text which shows at the bottom of the screen. What I've done is adjust the size of the video so I can put text underneath, which I can switch off and on again. But generally speaking, it's there all the time so that people know what I'm actually talking about. And I've got a thank you for watching my videos. Okay, and I show that occasionally during the broadcast, especially if somebody sends me a gift. Okay, and then the camera, I can change the settings on the camera. I can hide the camera, and if I hide the camera, I will eventually get a warning if I'm live to say that my camera is hidden. Okay, and then if I go back and take off Stephen's Broadcasting Toolkit and switch the camera back on, and we should get in a second, I should be back on camera. That's the idea. I've decided that when you're broadcasting live, don't do anything to the camera. Okay, that's the best way. Let me go here, and okay, so this is my studio, and let's go over here, and hopefully, yes. So I'm using vcam.ai for the background. So basically, you can set your studio up in advance, and then you can set your scenes up in advance. Okay, so this is my scene for marketing the broadcasting toolkit, and it's got different assets to my main. Yeah, and this is all about Stephen's Broadcasting Toolkit. Welcome to the show. And it's got camera confidence and presentations as the default topics, and again it's got different text. But I said a moment ago, you can have several cameras. I can actually have a second camera, so that if I use a background, I can just drop that camera on the background and switch my main camera off. Okay, and it's just simple to add. So in terms of flexibility, it doesn't get any better than be able to switch between scenes whilst you're live, to be able to switch items on screen, move them about to where they're legible. Yeah, you can do anything, and always remember to put them back for the end. Okay, so that's what's possible with the studio. The only limit on all this is your imagination. Yeah, you can see at the bottom you've got the sound levels. This is it. This is just a general intro, and the only place you can broadcast to is TikTok Live. So when you press go live, it goes live to TikTok. I'll talk more about everything in the next video, but this is getting us off to a start, and hopefully you find it helpful. I'll see you later.